Welcome back, Focus Learners, to another edition of The Explainer. I literally couldn't believe the math when I first looked at this, but there is a highly lucrative strategy likely hiding right in your wallet right now. We're looking at a massive and, quite frankly, unheard of reward rate on SBI debit cards. Now, you know and I know that credit cards usually get all the glory, right? They get the cashback, the points, the crazy travel perks. But debit cards? Come on, they rarely see rewards anywhere near this magnitude. So, dust off that SBI debit card because today we're going to maximize its potential and turn your everyday spending into a serious return.
Okay, let's dive into this. A 20% reward rate? Yes, you heard that right. 20%. We're not talking about some measly 1 or 2% standard cashback that you barely notice. We are talking about a massive, game-changing 20%. Finding a return rate this high on any standard banking product without, jumping through massive hoops or paying ridiculous annual fees, it's incredibly rare. It's exactly the kind of number that makes you stop scrolling, grab a calculator, and really pay attention.
But as with all incredible financial opportunities, there's a catch, right? And that catch here is time. We are looking at a very, very strict 3-month window. The offer officially kicked off on May 1st, and it completely shuts down on July 31st. That leaves our midpoint, June, as your absolute critical optimization period. So we've got a distinct sense of urgency here. If you want to squeeze out maximum value from this deal, and I know you do, you need to execute this strategy within these exact dates before the whole offer just vanishes.
Section 1, Cracking the Reward Slabs. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we actually unlock this value. We have to look at the specific reward tiers. You see, the bank hasn't just offered a simple, flat 20% across every single purchase. That would be too easy. Instead, they've structured it into distinct mathematical tiers. Basically, the bank awards flat bonus points within specific spending brackets. So if you spend anywhere between 500 and 999 rupees, you get a flat 400 points, which equals exactly 100 rupees in value. Spend between 1,000 and 1,999 rupees, you get a flat 800 points, or 200 rupees. And for any single transaction over 2,000 rupees, you get 1,600 points, netting you 400 rupees. Please pay close attention to the word flat here. That is the secret ingredient to this entire strategy.
And this brings us to a massive aha moment, because the reward is a flat amount for the entire spending bracket. Spending at the top of a slab is literally a mathematical trap. Think about it. Spending 999 rupees yields exactly 100 rupees back. That's roughly a 10% return. It's good, but it's certainly not optimal. But if you spend exactly 500 rupees, you yield that exact same 100 rupee reward. Boom! That, my friends, is how you achieve a flawless 20% return. So the crucial point is this. To squeeze out that flawless 20% return, your goal is to spend exactly at the floor, the absolute minimum required amount of each slab. Do not overspend within the bracket. Actually, let me rephrase that. The moment you spend a single rupee more than the floor amount, your percentage return immediately begins to dilute. You want to hit the floor, grab your flat reward, and get out. Let's lock in those specific targets so you don't even have to think about it at the checkout counter. Here are your sweet spots neatly laid out. Step 1, spend exactly 500 rupees. Step 2, spend exactly 1,000 rupees. Step 3, spend exactly 2,000 rupees. These are the golden numbers. Hitting these exact transaction amounts is what guarantees your return rate stays perfectly pinned at 20%. Seriously, memorize these 3 numbers. They are going to be your new best friends until July 31st.
Section 2, Rules for Maximum Returns. Okay, we have the blueprint, but knowing the math isn't enough if you use the wrong payment method. The bank has very strict rules on exactly how you must pay to trigger these rewards, and if you aren't careful, you'll miss out entirely. So here is your checklist of eligible payment gateways. You must use Tap and Pay. This is non-negotiable. For digital wallets, you can use Google Pay or Samsung Wallet, provided you have an SBI MasterCard or Visa debit card linked. But hey, if you don't use those digital wallets, don't worry. You can just use your actual physical debit card for a Tap and Pay transaction. And that applies to all SBI debit cards. Just remember, no inserting the chip, no swiping the magnetic stripe, and absolutely no standard online manual entry. Tap and Pay is the magic phrase here.
Next, we need to talk about the limits. The definition of the monthly cap here is 10,000 bonus points per calendar month per customer ID. This is a hard ceiling. It is absolutely crucial to understand this limit so you can plan your spending efficiently across the 3 months. Because once you hit that 10,000 point threshold in a single calendar month, you're going overboard for zero additional return.
Zero. So keep a really close eye on your points ledger.
So what does that cap actually look like in your pocket? Well, if we translate those 10,000 maximum bonus points into their actual rupee value, it equals exactly 2,500 rupees. That is the maximum amount of free money on the table each and every month of this promotion. It's a fantastic, tangible chunk of change for doing literally nothing more than optimizing how you make your everyday purchases.
Let's move to and see how this builds across the entire timeline of the offer. You have 3 distinct opportunities to max out your earnings: May, June, and then closing out the offer in July with a final 2,500 rupees. It's a consistent, reliable stacking of rewards month over month.
And this brilliantly illustrates the climax of our strategy. When you add up those perfectly optimized months, you arrive at the ultimate total cashback possible over the entire 3-month period, a staggering 7,500 rupees. Getting 7,500 rupees back on a basic debit card just by tapping your phone or card at the right spend limits? Come on, that is an incredibly satisfying optimization to pull off. Which brings us to our final strategic thought for today. If you're going to perfectly optimize for that flawless 20% return we just mapped out, the math dictates that you need to make exactly 12,500 rupees in highly targeted spends each month. That specific amount hits the floor's sweet spots and maxes out your cap beautifully. So I leave you with this. How will you hack your 12,500 rupee monthly quota before the window slams shut on July 31st? Are you going to split grocery bills, maybe prepay utilities in 500 rupee increments? It's time to strategize, pull out those SBI debit cards, and claim what is mathematically yours. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy optimizing!